Okay, so let's unpack this. Imagine, if you will, a lawyer, a guy who really genuinely loves dogs, and he gets assigned what sounds like, I don't know, a pretty simple custody case.
Right, charming even. Involving a Bernese mountain dog puppy.
Seems innocent enough, right? Except literally minutes after this lawyer picks up the dog, the house he just left explodes.
Yeah, just boom. One person killed instantly, another barely gets out.
And our lawyer, the dog, and this assistant, they come shockingly close to being, well, wiped out. It's terrifying.
And that's just the beginning. It gets truly wild from there.
Because that dog, the puppy, Waggy, he becomes the literal target of an international hitman.
Paid $500,000 for the dog's assassination.
It's nuts. We're talking a multi-million-dollar explosion, a second assassination attempt on the dog. It just unravels into this dizzying web.
High-stakes science, global betrayals, hidden motives, shocking greed, it's all in there.
Welcome to the deep dive. We take these complex, baffling scenarios, like the one you just heard, and we try to pull back the layers.
Exactly. We want to extract the surprising truths hidden inside. You've given us an incredible stack of sources about this whole saga, the Timmerman murders.
And our mission today is to guide you through all the twists and turns. We'll connect what seem like totally unrelated events.
And reveal the true story behind those headlines. We're cutting through the noise, really, to get to the essential nuggets of insight.
Helping you understand not just what happened, but maybe why it all matters.
And we'll be your guides through this intricate deep dive.
So let's jump right in. This incredible story kicks off with our reluctant protagonist, Andy Carpenter.
Right, Andy Carpenter. He's a lawyer, known for his dry wit, his serious love for dogs. He's got Tara, his golden retriever.
And he generally prefers to stay out of high-stakes drama. But his day starts in a, well, pretty unusual way.
He gets summoned to Judge Hatchett's chambers.
A formidable figure, this judge. The source material quotes him making these colorful threats, like lawyers who arrive late are often never heard of or seen again.
Except for occasional body parts that wash up on shore.
Yeah.
Definitely sets a unique tone.
For a dog custody case, right?
Absolutely. It tells you right away, this isn't your average day in court. Andy's life is about to take a hard left.
So Hatchett doesn't really ask. He more like issues an assignment. Tells Andy he's uniquely qualified for a very specific client.
And that client is Waggy, the Bernese mountain dog puppy stuck in this custody dispute.
Andy, already has Tara. He resists a bit.
But Hatchett makes it pretty clear. He says, you now have 2 dogs, like it or not.
Okay, and this is where it just pivots. From quirky legal assignment to catastrophic reality with terrifying speed.
Yeah. Andy goes to the Timmerman house to pick up Waggy.
He has this brief, maybe slightly tense chat with Diana Timmerman, Walter Timmerman's stepmother. She mentions her stepson, Stephen.
She says he'd just been there yelling at her.
Right. Then Martha, the assistant, brings Waggy out to Andy. And literally minutes later, Andy's pulling away from the curb.
And the whole house just explodes.
Diana's killed instantly. Martha barely escapes.
And Andy, Waggy, Martha, they come incredibly close. The sheer randomness of it.
Yeah, you can almost feel how close they were to not making it.
The aftermath sounds truly surreal. Andy says he felt pretty stoic at the scene, but later it hits him, the danger they were all in.
And the police. They quickly zero in on Walter's son, Stephen Timmerman. He becomes the prime suspect.
And on the surface, I mean, the evidence against him looked overwhelming. Really compelling.
It really did. Okay, first, motive. Clear motive. Stephen had a, quote, contentious relationship with Diana, his stepmother.
Right, and this is huge. Stephen stood to inherit Walter's massive fortune. We're talking $400, maybe $450 million.
But, and this is the key, only if Diana was dead.
And Walter had apparently talked about disinheriting Stephen multiple times with his lawyer, so the financial incentive, massive.
Okay, second point, expertise.
Yeah, Stephen was trained as a Marine. He was an expert in Syntron 321. That's a military-grade plastic explosive.
Notoriously difficult to trace, right, unless you have very specific high-level knowledge.
Exactly. Third, proximity. Diana herself told Andy that Stephen was in the house just moments before it blew up, yelling at her.
And then finally, there's physical evidence, crucial stuff. Walter Timmerman's blood found in Stephen's car.
Although Andy did notice something odd there. The lack of brain or skull fragments in the car. It raised a little flag for him later.
And just when you think the case can't get any more complicated, this other detail pops up, almost seals Stephen's fate.
Anonymous tip.
Yeah. A computer-masked voice calls the police, tells them where to find a hidden murder weapon, Walter's own gun in Stephen's loft.
And that gun is later confirmed to be the one that shot Walter Timmerman.
So, I mean, every single piece of the puzzle seems to point straight at Stephen.
It really looks like an open and shut case. But as we're about to find out, the most obvious answer, well, it's rarely the true one in this deep dive.
Okay, now this is where the story takes that truly baffling, almost, I don't know, absurd turn. The dog's peculiar predicament.
Right, Waggy. The puppy at the center of the custody fight. He wasn't just a bystander caught in the crossfire.
No, he was somehow, inexplicably, a target himself.
That's the critical pivot. Andy's PI and bodyguard, Marcus. He gets this shocking piece of information after questioning a hitman, Jimmy Childs.
And Childs admits it. He was paid $500,000 for 3 hits.
Walter Timmerman. Diana Timmerman.
And their dog, Waggy.
Which immediately throws up this massive question, right? It just reshapes Andy's whole investigation.
Why on earth would a high-priced international hitman travel 6,000 miles to kill a Bernese mountain dog puppy?
It just doesn't compute. It makes no sense at all, does it?
It's almost laughable, the absurdity, until you realize the chilling reality behind it.
And it gets even more personal for Andy, his wife, Lori. She's a former police chief herself.
She gets shot in the leg while walking Waggy and their own dog, Tara. It was bad. The bullet severed her carotid artery, almost killed her.
And Marcus later finds out from Childs. He was actually aiming low for Waggy.
Lori just happened to stand up at the last second.
Exactly. The shot hit her instead, which confirms Waggy was the intended target of a second assassination attempt.
This poor puppy is just a walking, barking bullseye. It's insane.
And the layers just keep unfolding. The custody battle for Waggy then ramps up again.
Enter Charles Robinson, a close friend, apparently, and a dog-showing partner of Walter Timmerman. He also wants custody of Waggy.
But there's tension there, too. Robinson and Walter, they were rivals in the dog show world.
And Waggy, he's the son of Bertrand, a Westminster champion, so Waggy himself is seen as this potential future champion.
Yeah.
Very valuable.
In that specific competitive world, yes. Very valuable.
This rivalry leads to what Andy and his team kind of jokingly call the Waggy kidnapping.
Right. There's a temporary ruling giving custody to Robinson. But Andy deeply distrusts him, sees him as a potential suspect.
So Andy, Lori, Kevin, Marcus, they cook up this covert op. They literally kidnap Waggy back from Pam Potter's training facility.
They even lock Potter in her house to make sure Waggy is safe.
He sounds crazy, but it comes from the sheer desperation to protect the dog, their canine client.
And just when you think things can't get any stranger, Charles Robinson dies. Gruesomely. Iridium poisoning. It's incredibly rare, hard to detect, often linked to, well, sophisticated, maybe even state-level assassinations.
And the timing is critical. This happens just before Andy was supposed to meet him to discuss Walter's secret work.
The timing, the method. It screams calculated silencing, suggests Robinson knew way too much.
Making his death another huge piece of this increasingly complex puzzle.
So yeah, we've gone from a dog custody case to house explosion, multiple murders, international hitmen.
All somehow revolving around this one Bernese mountain dog. The motive seemed clear, then murky. Now, what?
What could possibly be so valuable about this family, or maybe this dog, that warrants this level of extreme violence?
That right there is the absolute core of the mystery, and it leads us into this unexpected territory.
Cutting-edge science and international espionage.
Okay, so what was Walter Timmerman really doing?
It turns out he wasn't just some wealthy businessman. He was secretly working on developing synthetic DNA.
Synthetic DNA. What does that even mean in this context?
Well, not just genetic manipulation as we might think of it. Walter was pioneering programmable synthetic DNA, stuff capable of self-assembly, designed for specific functions.
Like what?
Like generating incredibly clean, hyper-efficient energy sources, or potentially even targeted biological agents. His project was described as being of extraordinary importance.
With national security implications, wow.
Yeah, which is where the FBI comes in. Agent Corvallis. He reveals the FBI had actually been monitoring Walter before he died.
Why?
Specifically to make sure his groundbreaking work didn't fall into, quote, the wrong hands.
So this isn't just some academic science project. This is potentially game-changing stuff. For geopolitics, global power, the stakes are enormous.
That couldn't be higher. And this connects directly back to Charles Robinson, the guy who got poisoned.
The dog show rival.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Robinson, who was also an international financier, was apparently partnering with Walter to capitalize on this discovery, most likely leveraging his deep connections in the energy industry. Suddenly, his intense interest in this project, beyond just dog shows, Makes a whole lot more sense.
A chilling amount of sense. It elevates his death from maybe a rivalry thing to something far, far bigger.
Definitely more sinister. Now, for the real double-cross, the shocking frame-up.
Okay, let's hear it.
Enter Thomas Sykes. He's the CEO of Timco, Walter's own company, his business partner.
Yeah.
It's revealed Sykes was secretly having an affair with Diana Timmerman, Walter's stepmother.
Ah, so the motive there is...
Pure, unadulterated greed. Sykes and Diana conspired to kill Walter for his money. They planned to get married after his death.
And remember, Walter had just changed his will.
Exactly. He'd just removed Stephen entirely in favor of Diana. If Diana inherited and Stephen was out, Sykes' personal stake in Timco would jump by over $80 million.
Wow, okay. So they kill Walter, but what about the explosion and framing Stephen?
That brings us to Martha Wyndham, Walter's seemingly normal, unassuming personal assistant.
She wasn't just an assistant, was she?
Not at all. She was, in fact, a highly skilled agent, placed there by some unknown entity, maybe a foreign government, specifically to monitor Walter's crucial DNA work.
So when Walter was killed by Stas and Diana...
Martha, doing her job, copied all of Walter's lab work, every bit of data.
But then she hires Jimmy Childs, the hitman.
Right, to plant the explosives in the house. Her goal was twofold. Destroy the lab, cover Walter's tracks maybe, and simultaneously frame Stephen.
Because of his explosives expertise and his known conflict with Diana, it was convenient.
Perfectly convenient. But here's the crucial twist. The real aha moment that changes everything.
Okay.
Martha, this supposedly skilled agent, had no idea. The FBI had already accessed the lab before the explosion. And in a classic intelligence move, they switched the data. They replaced Walter's real work with completely worthless, incorrect information.
No way. So the data she copied
was useless. Garbage. Her meticulously planned act of destruction meant to eliminate the true work. Utterly futile. Her big move was based on totally bad intel.
Wow. That is quite a mistake for an agent.
A huge mistake.
Yeah.
And it reveals her as the mastermind behind everything that happened next.
Because her original mission was compromised by the FBI's switch.
Exactly. So then she poisoned Charles Robinson to stop him revealing anything to the FBI about Walter's genuine DNA work or the energy deal.
Okay.
With the real lab data now gone, or so she thought, and Robinson silenced, the very last trace, the living embodiment of Walter's synthetic DNA invention,
was Waggy.
That explains her chilling order to Childs. Kill the dog. Eliminate the last piece of evidence.
Every seemingly random, bizarre event finally just locks into place. It all comes back to the science and the dog.
It does. It's an incredible chain of events.
So after all these twists, betrayals, the shocking revelations, what about the resolution? Stephen Timmerman's murder trial must have been intense.
Oh, absolutely. It was Andy's biggest challenge. You had this mountain of circumstantial evidence pointing right at Stephen.
But Andy's strategy was smart. He couldn't present all the, quote, truth about Childs and Martha, right? Legal admissibility issues.
Correct. So instead, he focused on introducing reasonable doubt. He implicated Sykes, revealed the complex web of motives, planted enough seeds to completely undermine the prosecution's narrative.
And it worked.
It did. In a truly surprising verdict, the jury found Stephen Timmerman not guilty on all counts.
That's a massive vindication, especially given how stacked the case seemed.
Huge. But the real mastermind, Martha Wyndham, was still out there.
How did they finally get her?
And he figured it out. He put the pieces together, her suspicious presence during key events, her subtle suggestion about where Waggy should be housed, the very specific timing of some phone calls.
He deduced her role.
Exactly. And her final, desperate attempt to kill both Stephen and Waggy in Stephen's apartment. And he thwarted it, just in time. That brought the active threat to an end.
And after her arrest,
Agent Corvallis confirms her true role. Yes, she was an agent, hired to monitor Walter's work. And everything else, destroying the lab, killing Robinson, targeting Waggy, those were her desperate attempts to cover up the project after Walter's death and her own compromised position.
the whole intricate circle of the conspiracy finally closed.
It did. A truly complex resolution.
On a more personal level, though, there were some maybe positive outcomes amidst all that chaos.
Yes, definitely. Lori makes a full recovery from the shooting. She moves back in with Andy.
And they get engaged. Lori has this great line, "Life is too precious and it's too damn short."
I hope we each have 100 years left, but if we don't, or even if we do, I want to spend it with the person I love. It's quite moving after everything they went through.
It really is. And Waggy, the innocent dog at the center of it all.
He finally finds a stable home. Custody is officially awarded to Stephen.
Though Andy plans to keep an eye on him, right? Because of the lingering danger.
Absolutely. The unique nature of that dog, what he represents,
Mm-hmm.
it means he might, unfortunately, always be something of a target.
And the investigation isn't quite over yet, is it? Richard Wallace is still looking into Sykes.
That's right, pursuing search warrants. Sykes, interestingly, died in police custody. Apparent suicide.
But Lori suspects foul play, maybe involving Jacoby from the DNA lab.
She does. Ever the cop, she sees connections others might miss. It feels like, even as this main case closes, the echoes of this whole deep dive will continue.
So wrapping this up, what does this incredibly complex story mean for you, listening?
Well, I think this deep dive into the Timmerman case really shows us how even events that seem straightforward at first,
Like a simple custody battle for a dog?
exactly, can hide these incredibly deep layers of complex, interconnected motives and players. It unraveled into this high-stakes conspiracy.
Groundbreaking synthetic DNA, international interests, intelligence failures, multiple assassinations.
It also highlights how even highly trained people, like Martha, can make critical mistakes when they're operating with incomplete information, leading to truly devastating consequences.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? How different pieces of information, when you connect them and look critically, can paint a completely different picture from the one on the surface.
Absolutely. The ultimate lesson might be about the unpredictable, maybe even terrifying value of cutting-edge science, where something seemingly innocent
Like a Bernese mountain dog puppy.
can become the living, breathing embodiment of a multi-billion-dollar breakthrough, making it a target for the highest stakes of espionage and deception imaginable.
It really makes you think. In a world where scientific discoveries can be worth hundreds of millions, reshape global power, what other seemingly ordinary things in our daily lives might be tied to secrets far, far beyond our imagination?